Hey guys, welcome back to our social hour. This is our main social hour and we're covering some hot trending topics that are relevant to social media. So every month what the social behavior team does is we get together here to have kind of like a monthly roundup, what's happening in our agency. Then we bring you the social hour and then we go have our little own social hour of our own. So let me just jump right in so we don't take up a lot of time, but I'm Karen, I'm the founder of Social Behavior, and I'll just introduce everybody else. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Paula Mena. I'm like the engagement specialist and strategist, kind of both at this time. So.
Yeah, so redefining your role here, right, at the present moment, but definitely covering everything engagement in Facebook ads. And then
I'm Nancy Guzman. I am the new content creator. I just assumed this role. I just graduated. I'm here for a year now, so it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And then like you're celebrating graduation. You've been with us for a year. Started off intern, contractor, now full-time employee. Super excited, and you just had a birthday. So it's been like a really big week.
So crazy week.
Yeah. Super big week. And then we have Tiana. Also having a super big day.
Yes, it's a long day.
Yeah.
But I am the new content planner. I started as an intern here. And yes, like she said, I do graduate tomorrow. So yeah.
Just took your last final
today, like 2 hours ago.
Went to
Yes.
pick up your family from the airport and then came to
Yes.
social hour. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Yeah, so glad you made it. And then, so perfect. Well, you know, what we do here is we just cover all of the trending topics. We're gonna jump right in. Last time we did this was the first time that we ever broadcast today, so we are on live stream right now, but we will upload this to all of our platforms later on. And we just want to jump right in. So I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to pass it down. But what I want to talk about today is the FA conference. So it's the annual Facebook Developers Conference where Mark Zuckerberg, kind of like what we're doing right now. No, I'm just kidding. Talks about the updates of Facebook, right? The future of Facebook. And one of the big highlights from the whole event was that the future is private. And this is kind of leading off into a lot of things. So you guys know that Facebook privacy policy has just come down as possibly the worst in recent history, just because of all of the privacy violations, all the data violations that it's been slapped with. But that's not keeping people still from it being one of the most widely used social media platforms in the world, right? So it's still a very popular platform, but they're doing everything they can to be better. However, that could impact the way that we as users like are impacted by this new privacy thing. So the things that they're talking about doing is kind of hiding the messages. You know that Snapchat was one of the pioneers of the disappearing messages, right? And so they want to make your messages private. They want to make your interactions private. Maybe limiting it to only friends and family. You guys know that Instagram has that friends and family only story group where where I don't want to show my story to everybody, just my friends and family. And if I see that green circle around your avatar, then I know I'm one of your close friends on Instagram. So this could be kind of a game changer, and it is leading off into other topics, into what would happen if, you know, this is carried across to other platforms that are owned by Facebook. I mean, it could just be a game changer in so many ways, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Facebook just hiding, doing the disappearing messages? Do you care?
I think overall privacy breaches have to be stopped, and I'm glad that they're kind of going through with privacy, just more privacy placements so that everything's safer just for the consumer. But I mean, it just has to redefine the entire way that a platform works. So I think it's gonna be tough for them to just roll out a whole different system. But it's nice to see evolution within a platform. So.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really care about Facebook's privacy. I don't really use Facebook myself much. But do you see this impacting Facebook negatively or positively? Because I know a lot of people, if it starts to disappear, would be like, okay, well, I don't really care to use Facebook anymore. Like, you're just there to comment on your family's pictures and all that stuff.
Right.
So I was wondering if there were anything like that was gonna be negative, or is this like an only
I
positive?
think
kind of
so.
thing?
So like, you know, we know that Facebook has an older demographic built into it. That's why you're like, I don't really use it every day. I'm 20, you know, young something year old, and I don't use it. So if somebody in their 40s or 50s, they are less reluctant. They're more reluctant to change. So when you change and you make it difficult, that's where you could start to see some of that fallout, right? So anytime that our day-to-day platforms are impacted by these upgrades, I mean, we saw what happened when Snapchat rolled out that massive update, and I mean, people just left by the millions. That's where Instagram was able to capitalize on all of those users, and you know, with a lot of these social media apps, they continue to roll out updates, and it's more like a testing, I guess, if you will, kind of a live test, or they'll roll it out in phases, and they'll see some of that drawback, some of that pushback, and if it does not go as planned, they'll retract and revisit and reshape it. So, leading up to well, I'm gonna lead into Paula's topic, which is still kind of on topic with that privacy stuff, but it's how it could go and impact Instagram. So take it away.
So Instagram kind of is hinting at the idea of removing engagement protocols or tools like likes or possibly follows. So it would no longer show the amount of likes you get in a picture. And they say that they want to do that for means of engagement increase. So I wanted to kind of ask y'all, how do y'all think that Instagram would benefit from removing its likes? And how would that increase engagement?
So I was kind of talking to you about this earlier, that I kind of saw it as if they're getting rid of likes, I think people, I guess, would start to comment more. That's like my only thing that I thought.
So maybe rather than liking, you would be having to be very upfront about your engagement and follow and direct message people or businesses. So that kind of brings me into the impact that that would have in businesses and even personal accounts or influencers. We know that influencer culture is huge nowadays, not only for just regular people that follow them, but also for brands. Brands are using influencers as source of advertising, marketing. It's huge nowadays to use influencer marketing, strategies, which is something that us as a company we do. So to take that away, and I think that would impact influencers specifically because they're very driven by the amount of followers they have and by the amount of likes that they get per post.
But I do want to jump in on that. So like Instagram hasn't been able to control the amount of fake followers and the amount of engagement farms and the amount of bots that are, setting up accounts and following people, and people are able to buy these followers or buy the engagement, etc. So I think to counteract with that this is why there would even be a mention of that, because your 100,000 followers that you bought are no longer relevant. But I do see it being a positive. So just like on Facebook, when you do a post as an admin, it doesn't matter if we see how many people like the post, we still see the number of people reached. So it just means that we reached a certain number of people, whether they engaged or not. That's still a quantitative number. So I think that data, if that's represented, that's more valuable to the brand, to the business, to the audience, period. Doesn't mean that they took action on a post. It means that they have that reach. And that's going to be the tell-all for organic. I would actually, it scares me to think about, oh my God, they're going to take away likes, and a lot of people would be significantly impacted. But if they started to show reach, that would be long-term a lot better, and it would be great and even better for the businesses, because that's what they want to pay for, not the likes.
One other thing that it would impact, I think that it would restructure a whole social, environment, just because a lot of, kids right now, or even just people, use Instagram as a source of, social communication, and they get positive gratification from getting a like or oh, I got 100 likes, or I got 300 likes. Like that is so built into today's society that if they removed that, it would be a huge, significant shift in social culture. And so it would be very interesting to see how we as people would shift into a different gear.
Right.
And I think it would be a huge impact. Like, I know for me specifically, I would be very upset if my likes were removed.
You would be affected.
Yeah.
But social media controls you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
control
exactly.
it.
And I
And-
mean, for once, it'd be nice to maybe not think about the engagement or the likes I get, and
Yeah.
just kind of be myself for what I want to post
There's
out
less
there.
pressure. Yeah.
So
I
it
know
would be interesting to see that. Yeah.
It's impacted all of you. I mean, think about how if it didn't matter, you would be like, oh, I'm at the social hour. I'm here. I'm there. No, now you have curated page. You've got this many followers. I can't post that.
You have to
We're
be
just
on
gonna jump in
brand.
another trending topic that we're gonna cover today, which is I can't post that for you because it might be off brand with me or on brand, and so there's a lot of limitations that are being put on by this fake world of likes and the validation that people are getting from this. Yeah. Phew. So I don't know what the future will be, but it will be very interesting to follow this on social and to, maybe definitely stay tuned to our social media because we'll be posting updates on this as the information kind of rolls out, this new privacy policy on both Facebook and Instagram. So now we have a very interesting topic that Nancy's gonna cover. So I'm not even gonna take anything. I'm not even gonna say anything. Just jump right in and tell us about this comeback story.
Okay, so basically I kind of just wanna, the last social hour, I kind of went over this. It was about kind of society's canceling a trend that we have going on, or the culture of canceling. And recently, probably one of the most famous people or names out there just got canceled in the beauty industry or the beauty YouTube world was James Charles. And for those of you who don't know who James Charles is, he is a male makeup artist. He had around 16 million followers or subscribers on YouTube. And up until recently, he's lost about 6 million. And the whole reason, was because it all started with a feud with his mentor, Tati. Her name's Tati. I can't recall her last name.
Westbrook.
There we go, Westbrook. She was also really big in the beauty industry, and she actually started her own beauty line with supplements, and she has mentored James Charles ever since he started in YouTube. And she kind of, after he's her pastor, she has 5 million followers, and he had 17 million. And once she started her beauty company, she asked him, hey, can you promote my brand to your followers? Like, it would help me out a lot, or it would just be really nice to have a friend promote. And he denied her that, and he was like, no, I just don't feel comfortable promoting all these supplements and all this to my young followers, to my young subscribers. So after that, she was a little bit hurt, but she kind of she kind of just let it go, like, okay, I understand. But the feud started when this past Coachella, a competitor of Tati offered James Charles security at Coachella for an Instagram story. And he went ahead and did it, and she was really hurt by it, and a lot of stuff happened after that, and she basically ended up making a 48-minute long video on YouTube canceling him, telling him. So his thing is, hey sisters, bye sisters, kind of calling everyone sisters, and her title was bye sister or something like that. Like,
He said, bye, sister.
yeah, so she was just done with him, and it's really crazy because I understand that she was hurt and a lot of other stuff happened, but it comes down to this whole canceling thing, to where she could basically ruin his career, his life. He already lost around 6 million followers because of it. Imagine, and it all basically comes down, and I just wanted to see you guys' opinion about this situation and the whole canceling, because there's another, topic I wanted to go over in a little bit, but just what you guys think of James Charles and
One word, karma. Like, if you're not gonna look out for the people that put you on or mentored you or gave you a platform, then, you know, that's just how people are still real people. Your audience on social media is still real. So they still want to follow good people. They're still wanting to follow you because they believe in you. They're a loyal fan to you. So that's still raw, real, authentic. And if you do something bad, hey, they're gonna leave like an army. They're gonna march together, and you know, I'm gonna be texting Paula, let's unfollow him. And then she's gonna text you, and it's literally gonna cause a chain reaction. Then losing 6 million followers in one day, that's insane.
I think he should have really thought ahead about using a competitor's or promoting a competitor's brand. I think that could have been a little bit of like common sense. Like, I'm not really gonna go for like, even if they're offering this for me, like, I don't think. I think he should have just like thought about that twice and been like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. But it kind of, I just think he was just kind of like, I need security, this and that. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It affected him or in the worst way.
I think it's crazy nowadays when you can release a video and be able to impact somebody's career to that extent. That kind of just shows the impact that influencers or celebrities have into just audiences. One thing about James Charles is that most of his subscribers are aged 12 to 15. So they're very young, impressionable people, or kids rather. And so if you tell them, go buy this thing, they will go buy this thing, and they will spend their parents' money on this thing. So if another person says, oh, go cancel him, then they will go and cancel him. It's just very impressionable, and it's just crazy how, you know, like, this audience is so young, and we don't think about that because like these 16 million subscribers that he had are very young. So you know, there's a lot of weight that goes into being an influencer that some people don't realize.
A lot of impact. Yeah. Totally.
And a lot of things, or the big thing here is that like, a lot of people who aren't on YouTube and aren't looking at the beauty gurus and all these people don't know who Tati is and don't know who James Charles is. Or even if they do, they don't watch them. But as soon as this came out, especially on Twitter, everybody knows. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows his catchphrase. Everyone knows now who she is. I didn't really know Tati before. I had heard her name. Up until like this feud came out, and I was like, wow, that's insane. Like, but now she's kind of like getting up there, and it's crazy how just like canceling
she's
someone
just propelling from she's gonna ride that wave. So
and she has gained 5 million followers. So he lost 6, she gained 5.
Wow.
So her career is on upward turn.
Hashtag Team Tati. Yeah. So perfect. Thank you so much, Nancy. All right, Tiana, let's jump right in and talk to us about so that's the comeback story. I had you guys mixed up. So that's the comeback story that we want to talk about today.
So pretty much Snapchat, they released their new filters. They had the female filter, which is very believable. And you got the male feature, which I tried out the other day, and it really scared me.
I am a handsome young man. Let's just say
that is so scary. But yes, so recently it has caused for a lot of people that has canceled Snapchat, including myself. I canceled Snapchat just a little bit, too, until the new filters came out. So a lot of people have re-downloaded the app, you know, just out of curiosity to see, you know, what do I look like
I'm one of those
as the opposite sex.
That was me.
So it originally surfaced on Twitter when a guy, he was like, you know, Snapchat, this is catfish. Like, I can catfish someone with this. And he really did. He was a very beautiful.
He was very pretty.
He was gorgeous.
Oh my God.
But yes, he after that post through Twitter, it, you know, of course, transitioned to Instagram and everything. So now a lot of people are going back to Snapchat to see what they offered, and I just read that they've released like 10,000 new filters, but it's within like the community, like what's the word? Like consumers, we're able to make our own filters, and of course, you know, not sell them, but you know, allow other people to share them or use them on our feeds now.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting that they have going on right now.
Cool.
With all the filters.
That just shows how business development can help you with your business. Like Snapchat was kind of dead for a lot of us, And because they kept at it and released this awesome new like feature, then we're all backed and hooked.
Yeah.
So it's
I look like my brother. Whenever
Yeah.
I did the nail, I was like, oh my god, this
I'm
is
my
cute.
literal brother.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny to see all of them coming up. Like, and the funny thing is, though, I don't know if Snapchat is giving users an opportunity, like, oh, thanks for coming back, and while you're here, like, how are they gonna retain them beyond this filter? Because people are just going in, doing the filter. I'm seeing it pop up on Instagram, on Facebook. It's like you just went and used my technology. You're on my platform, but then
Put it somewhere
you're just
else.
going back elsewhere and posting this picture of your gender, your transformation, right? So kind of crazy. We'll see about the longevity and you know, this is such a new thing. It just came out last week, so we'll see how long they stay on Snapchat and how long they kind of stay on the
I
platform.
saw a lot of people on Tinder. Well, I didn't see it on Tinder, but I saw on Twitter how they
Yeah.
would post their Tinder picture and it'd be like of the other
Oh,
gender.
no.
Wow.
And they'd be
Oh, no.
like, I'm really cute and single, and it was them as a man,
Oh.
and they were just catfishing. And I think that's
Oh, wow. That could also create a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Or even a lot of these apps that, like the dating apps that don't let you get on unless you have a profile. Well,
or like a Facebook
Okay.
app to it. Yeah.
yeah, kind of crazy. So, did you want to come back to another topic, or?
I can if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it.
So it was the Twitter one.
All right.
So last week or earlier this week, we saw, or if you were on Twitter, there was this thing going around of this French model who was at a Yankees game and she was taking a million pictures, just working, doing her own thing. She wasn't in anybody's way. She wasn't blocking anyone's view, but she was standing her back to the game, and her friend was just there clicking pictures just nonstop.
And she was just going
She
at it,
was going
post,
at it,
post,
doing her
post.
thing.
Having
Yeah,
her photo
She was working
she
it.
looked great. And there was a guy who was like a little bit off to the left, and he was just recording her for like 3 minutes straight, being like, wow, look at her, like this is the game, kind of trying to shame her into like just doing her own thing. Like she's a real model, and she was
Yeah.
just trying to get a good picture. Like she had to post up on her Instagram. And a lot of people, it's really hard to tell where the people are who are they gonna side with.
Yeah.
But this time they sided with the girl, and they were like, why are you doing that to her? Why are you calling her out? Like
Yeah.
she's doing her thing, she's not bothering you. It's creepy. It's even weirder that you're recording her and that
Yeah.
you're doing all of this. And it was just, it's crazy how, again, like it's just really hard to see where people are gonna head.
Right. Well, I think people, and now, wait, so she's gained so much popularity.
Yeah.
She went viral as a result of this, right? So that should be noted. But I think that we live in a social media world. So people are out there taking selfies everywhere. I was pulling up to this building right here, and there's somebody in the middle of the street. I couldn't get to the parking lot, because they're occupying the middle of the street, and this guy's like taking a shot from an angle at the bottom. And you know, I'm not honking, I'm not upset, I'm not like, oh, look at what they're doing. Yes, safety first, but in this case, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was just, for whatever reason, taking 1,000 pictures. And sometimes I'm ashamed. Sometimes it's like, even if I go to the gym or something, I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people, and I just do it blindly, and I'm hurry, somebody's gonna see me, because I don't, you know, it's like, I know that there's a lot of shaming when it comes to that. I'm also a social media professional, so it is kind of, you know, a gray line, but yeah, nobody should be shaming people or even putting them on blast. So this guy didn't get canceled because he wasn't even,
He's nobody.
He's
He can't get
not
canceled.
relevant.
he's not even worth canceling. Yeah, but he would have gotten canceled if he was kind of like a celebrity or something like that, for just shaming people for doing their thing. So
Do you guys feel embarrassed whenever you guys take pictures
Oh,
out of public?
100%.
Yeah, I get more
Yes.
embarrassed whenever I'm like taking a picture in the mirror and someone walks by and they're in my picture. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just delete it. Yeah, that was a good one. But
Yeah, and
okay.
especially, well, they were also criticizing Coachella, because when I went, it was every girl in the whole festival was on the floor doing a thing,
yeah.
and people were just like, stop, you're like in my way. They would like push them and like,
Some
and-
guy even recorded.
Yeah.
And he even did the same thing this guy did, just recording all these girls just trying to take pictures.
Yeah.
He's like, wow,
Oh.
look, you're not missing anything at Coachella.
Yeah.
And it's like, relax, dude.
But now the reason Coachella is so popular is
Mhm.
because of
Of
the
the
social
Instagram.
impact that it has in just social media.
Just you going there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the same. look, I'm not bashing Coachella or anyone that goes there, but it does give you social cred, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
you were there. So another thing that gives you social cred is like people taking pictures on like the private jets, like their PJ, right? So now what are they doing? Buying time in a PJ just for the photo. Like it's crazy. They're not even going anywhere. They're just every 5 minutes paying $300. That's crazy. So that all kind of ties in onto how that privacy, that likes, and the things that people are doing for social cred. So we'll see that. I mean, we'll see what happens. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for bringing your awesome topics to our social hour. And any closing notes?
No, I'm just excited to see the news on this Facebook thing.
Yeah.
And everything.
Same.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah,
But we shall see. Yeah.
We'll keep you all
We shall
updated.
see. Yeah, so just to close it out, we're working on some awesome, exciting things here at the agency. So continue to follow us on our social media platforms, and we will be back in June with our June Social Hour, which also happens to be our 5-year anniversary. So got something special for you guys next month. So thank you.
Bye.